Hey, Kevin Durant, he added 11 points off the bench. And you know what he did? Passed Lisa Leslie to become Team USA's all-time leading scorer. He now has 494 points in the Olympics. No Olympian in United States history has ever scored more.
Surprised by that.
And if the United States is able to win 2 more games, coming up first against Serbia tomorrow afternoon, that's Nikola Jokic in Serbia. The Serbans.
Ready for that one.
I'm ready for that one, too. 2 o'clock Central Tip, I believe. If they're able to win that one, and then a gold medal game this weekend, do you know what Kevin Durant will then be? The only 4-time gold medal winner in USA basketball men's history. Not LeBron, not Kobe, not Carmelo, not nobody. Kevin Durant will be in a group of 1. I like it. How you feel about it?
I actually think that's really cool. This is unique to me. I've changed my opinion about Kevin Durant over the years.
Your opinion was what? And it now is what?
My opinion was once upon a time, like, eye roll a little bit. Like, obviously there was the burner account thing and him leaving OKC and going to Golden State, and people rolled their eyes at that. Oh, you can't win a real ring, blah, 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 blah. But just watching him talk, he even did an interview with Maria Taylor yesterday that aired that I saw. Just seeing him talk and on podcasts and stuff over the past 4 or 5 years, I like the dude. Like, I think that he's got a good demeanor, and I think that maybe looking back on everything that happened with him and why everybody was rolling their eyes and making fun of KD, I don't know if it's necessarily that justified looking back on it all.
He seems like he's starting to get comfortable in his skin a little bit.
Yeah.
After years of not being so comfortable in his skin.
Yeah.
Because he's very online, and
aren't we all?
And he sees it and cares about it in ways that I'm not sure everybody sees and cares about it. That's the root of the burner account.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think on some level it's the root of leaving Oklahoma City. Then I think it's the root of leaving Golden State. I think he was not pressured, but influenced by what people were saying.
And now I actually like the burner count. That's one thing, but like he still goes at people on Twitter all the time, and I like it. Like I actually, because I think sometimes, man, like people will say things that they just think they're never going to get a reaction. So they'll say outlandish things to famous people, thinking they're never going to get a reaction, and he'll give it back to you.
Oh yeah, well, like,
and I kind of like that.
And he'll give it back to famous people too. Like Keyshawn Johnson was on television the other morning and said something along the lines. I gather,
get the clip. Yep.
Of if Golden State would have signed Paul George instead of Kevin Durant, it was something like this. What would have been different? Like they'd have won the same titles and whatever. And, Keyshawn was like, we'll never know, but I think. And then Kevin Durant quote tweets that. It's like, if the Jets would have taken any number of these players instead of Keyshawn Johnson, what would have been different? And it's like, I don't know, but I can speculate too. So he'll come back at you a little bit. Like if you say something about Kevin Durant, he'll see it. Yeah. Or at least he's more likely to see it than some others. And I really do think that is a guiding point for his career and how it unfolded. He ran into the same thing in Oklahoma City that LeBron ran into in Cleveland, which is you're obviously great. You're winning MVPs and having an incredible level of success. But at some point, and in basketball more than any other sport, like it's not enough to just be great. And it's not enough that it took Michael Jordan a long time to win his first title. Right. We want you to do it quickly. And if you keep getting close but not quite there, we start to ask big questions about you. And so you know what that made LeBron do? Go to Miami. Do you know why LeBron went to Miami? It wasn't because he was dying to leave Cleveland, and it wasn't because he wanted to play with his friends. He was tired of hearing, you can't win a championship. Well, imagine if every day somebody told you, you can't do something. At some point, you'd be like, I'm about to show you I can, and I'm going to set myself up to do it. That's how LeBron ended up in Miami. It's also how KD ended up in Golden State. Right. Oh, you say I can't win a title? I'm this age, and I haven't won a title yet? All right, I'm going to go get one now. So he goes to Golden State. That's wildly unpopular, leaving a small market for a glamour market. Sure. Joining a team that had already won a championship and had just set a record for wins in the regular season. But his motivation there was, people are saying I can't win a title. I'm going to go win a title. But he had a wild miscalculation about how that would be viewed. And I'd said this in real time. Like, if he is going there to just try to check some things off a list, this ain't going to do for him what he thinks it's going to do. Because people aren't going to respect this title the way they would respect a Dirk title in Dallas or a LeBron title in Cleveland. They're going to say, you just joined a team that was already the favorite to win the title and then just sort of let Steph carry you there. It didn't matter that he was the two-time Finals MVP.
Right.
It didn't matter that most people will tell you he was the best player in that franchise at that time. He wasn't viewed that way. He wasn't celebrated that way. He won one title, and people said, that's not a real title. He won two titles. People said, that's not a real title. And then guess what happens? You know in your deep down that you are the reason you're winning championships, that you are the best player in this franchise, but you don't feel it when you walk around. You don't feel it in the Bay Area. That's still Steph's franchise. So then it's like, okay, I'll go to New York with my buddy Kyrie, and we'll get this thing done there. And from that moment on, it's been a disaster. All right? First off, he missed the whole year with the Achilles.
Right.
But Kyrie had the COVID stuff and other not so great stuff. James Harden was a disaster. Ben Simmons, disaster. Nothing works. And it's starting to look like, then he ends up in Phoenix. That's not working. And it's starting to look like this guy's just going to, man, if you go back to the moment when he won that second title with Golden State, and if he just never leaves there, what does his career look like? Or if he decides to team up and super team with somebody other than Kyrie Irving, what does that look like? You really could look at him and start to question decisions that he made that shaped his career in a way that I don't think any of us saw coming. There was a point in time where Kevin Durant was reasonably called the best player in the world, and you could have conversations about how many championships he's going to win. And I don't think in that moment the right answer any of us would have believed would have been 0.
Right.
But he is probably never going to win another championship. But even in the playoffs this year, when Anthony Edwards has given it to him a little bit, he could talk about that from a perspective that I don't think a younger Kevin Durant could talk about it from. He was like, listen, that's competition. And yeah, he gave it to me and he was talking to me and I love it and I can't wait to play with him in USA basketball. And they seem to be getting along brilliantly. I think it helps that the young guys hold him up as this all-time figure.
For sure.
But he seems to like not be bothered as much by, are you going to win another championship? Can you win a championship without Steph? Like feels like he's settled into his legacy. Like no matter what happens from this point forward, I am an MVP. I am a two-time world champion. I am top 10 all-time scorer. And now he can add to that, I am the all-time Team USA scoring leader and 2 more wins. I am the only man to ever win 4 gold medals in the Olympics for the United States. Like that's a nice legacy.
Agreed.
That's a top 10 of all-time legacy. And I just sort of like seeing him have that moment yesterday and then also seeing the tweet. I retweeted it last night. Just, again, I thought it touched a perfect tone. It, first and foremost, celebrates Lisa Leslie and says, you're one of the best to ever do it. It's just an honor to even be in this conversation with you. And just like I came along and was able to break this record, someday somebody else great will come along and break my record. And, I look forward to that day as well. Not like this is mine. Nobody's ever done this and nobody maybe will ever do this again. Like, hey, I just passed an all-time great and somebody's going to pass me someday, and this is the way sports works. I don't know that 25-year-old Kevin Durant could have seen it that way, but 35-year-old Kevin Durant seems like he's in a good place.
It does.
I like KD.
Me too.
I like KD. I hope he gets the 2 more wins. That'd be 4 gold medals. Nobody's ever done that before. USA men's basketball.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.